Chosen one. Listen, this is not a coincidence. Heaven waited exactly 2 hours before letting this message find you. Time stood still, not because God forgot you, but because heaven was watching to see who would still be listening when the silence stretched too long. You felt it, didn't you? That eerie quiet, that pause that made you question if the promise was still alive. But the truth is, heaven was aligning the moment you would finally receive what had been waiting for you all along. You are not here by accident. You were led here by divine interruption. The world scrolls endlessly, but right now, heaven has stopped yours. Every distraction fell away because God wanted you to know this is the message that changes your course. You have been walking under a heavy sky, wondering if the delay meant denial, but no. Chosen one, this was divine orchestration. There is a reason God waited. For 2 hours, heaven watched the movements of the unseen forces plotting to intercept your awakening. You were under surveillance, not by men, but by darkness afraid of what you carry. That's why the message couldn't come sooner. Heaven had to expose what was standing between your ears and God's voice. Every thought that said, "You're too late," or "You missed your chance." Those were planted to blind you. But the Lord says, you are right on time. Heaven's clock never lags. The 2-hour pause was proof of precision. You are not delayed, you are divinely aligned. Listen carefully now. The stillness that surrounded you was holy. God's silence was strategy. When the heavens go quiet, it's not because He's absent, it's because He's rearranging what's above you and around you. You are stepping into an hour that has been written about long before you were born. This is the threshold of awakening. You are about to cross from confusion to clarity, from warfare to witness. You are the reason heaven waited. The message couldn't come to anyone else first, because you were the key. Your obedience unlocked it. Right now, the Spirit is searching your heart. Feel that stirring inside. That's confirmation. The world thinks 2 hours is delay, but heaven calls it incubation. What was forming in silence is about to speak. You are the carrier of that sound. And when you speak, everything that watched you in the dark will know it's over. The silence is broken. You are no longer being observed, you are being commissioned. This is not about comfort, this is about calling. The delay was divine proof of your readiness. So lift your eyes. The same God who waited is now commanding movement. The hour has shifted. The moment you receive this truth, everything delayed begins to move again. The heavens have resumed their rhythm through you. You are chosen to hear what others ignored. You are appointed to move when others froze. You are the sound heaven held back until now. And today, that sound has your name written inside it, as was spoken in the sacred texts of old. Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles, run without wearying, walk and not faint. Now, chosen one, if this word finds your spirit burning, let heaven see your agreement. Like, share and subscribe so the message spreads to others still trapped in silence. Then, in the comments, type this prophetic number 787. Beloved chosen one, do not take this lightly. Heaven is watching how you respond in this very moment. Every act of obedience is a declaration in the unseen realm. When you press that like button, when you share this word, when you subscribe to stay under this flow, you are not doing something ordinary. You are saying to heaven, I receive this message. And in that instant, divine alignment begins to move through your life. Every seed of faith planted in obedience will bear fruit that darkness cannot destroy. Understand this when you share what breaks your own silence. You become a vessel through which others awaken. You never know who will be delivered by the same word that rescued you tonight. Someone out there has been waiting 2 hours, 2 weeks, even 2 years for the same breakthrough you are now stepping into. Your simple act of obedience can unlock their deliverance. That's why this isn't about algorithms, it's about assignment. So when you move intentionally. When you comment, so do it with faith, not routine. Heaven records prophetic acts. The number 777 is not just a symbol, it is heaven's confirmation that completion and perfection are meeting you in this very hour. When you write it as a declaration that the waiting season has ended and the release has begun. You are not just responding to a message, you are activating a movement. Every share carries light into darkness. Every word typed in faith becomes a spark that ignites another chosen one. Step into this divine moment. Heaven has waited for your yes. The whisper came softly at first, barely enough to register in the chaos of your thoughts. You almost dismissed it, believing it to be your own imagination. Yet somewhere deep inside, a trembling awareness told you this was not ordinary. It was the sound of heaven leaning close. The air seemed to shift, as though eternity brushed against your timeline. The whisper wasn't loud, but it carried weight. It was not meant to startle you. It was meant to awaken you. You felt that nudge while you were doing something mundane, scrolling, cleaning, staring into space, wondering if life would ever stabilize again. Then it came a faint impression, a pull in your spirit, almost like someone saying your name in a language only your soul could understand. That is how heaven speaks before the storm, quietly, deliberately, powerfully. God does not shout over the noise. He waits until your distractions exhaust themselves. Only then does his voice pierce through like light through fog. The whisper before the storm is not weakness, it is mercy. It gives you a chance to tune your heart before the thunder arrives. You, chosen one, are being trained to recognize his voice, not by volume, but by vibration. There is a sacred patience in God's whisper. He could speak in fire, but he often begins in stillness. He could shake mountains, but instead, he shakes your certainty. You are being refined to hear him in the subtleties. Every pause, every still moment, every unexpected quiet is a coded message from above. Those who only seek signs in storms will miss his whispers in the wind. The whisper carries revelation. It exposes the counterfeit peace the world offers and reveals the true rest that only heaven can provide. In those quiet moments, God reminds you of promises you forgot you even prayed about. The same spirit that hovered over the waters in Genesis now hovers over your life, ready to speak creation into the chaos. But here's the truth most never discern when heaven whispers. Hell panics. Darkness thrives in noise, in distraction, in confusion. When God calls you into silence, it's because he's about to separate your voice from the world's static. That's why, in the hours leading up to your awakening, you may feel detached, isolated, or even abandoned. Yet that isolation is not punishment, it's preparation. The whisper is an invitation, not an interruption. It asks you to listen beyond logic, beyond fear, beyond the evidence of your eyes. It draws you closer until you realize that silence is sacred ground. You begin to sense that something is unfolding behind the scenes, something heaven waited centuries to reveal, and it's being entrusted to you. When you begin to discern this voice, life itself shifts. You no longer chase clarity, you carry it. You stop seeking validation from people and start finding confirmation from heaven. The whisper becomes your compass, pointing you toward divine alignment even when the map seems blank. The whisper before the storm also serves as a dividing line. Some hear and ignore, others hear and obey. The difference determines destiny. The ones who ignore it are swept away by the coming storm. The ones who obey it become the calm within it. You, chosen one, are called to be that calm, the eye of divine purpose amid the winds of chaos. The more you yield to that quiet guidance, the stronger it grows. Heaven never forces, it invites. But every time you choose to listen, your spiritual hearing sharpens. You begin to recognize the tone, the rhythm, the holy warmth in his voice. That is how prophets are trained, not in crowds, but in caves of stillness. Even now, the whisper is saying, do not fear what you cannot yet see. Trust what I am doing beneath the silence. The next move is being written in unseen ink, and when it manifests, you'll realize it was never random. It was rehearsed in heaven long before it reached you. As the apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 18. So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen. For the seen is temporary, the unseen eternal. This whisper is not meant to comfort you only. It is meant to command your next step. It prepares you for the exposure that's coming. The storm will not destroy you. It will reveal what cannot be shaken. You are standing at the edge of revelation, and heaven's breath is still warm in the air. So be still. Let every distraction bow. Let every anxious thought fall silent. You are not hearing things, you are being summoned. The whisper before the storm is heaven's way of saying, get ready. The shift has begun. You sensed it, didn't you? That gaze you couldn't explain, the feeling of being watched even when no one was around. The unshakable awareness that eyes were studying you, not out of love, but out of curiosity. This is not imagination. Chosen one. It is spiritual surveillance. Someone or something has been observing the pattern of your obedience. The investigator has been active, analyzing your reactions to divine tests, hoping to exploit your moments of weakness. But what the enemy meant for exposure, God will use for revelation. This investigator is not always a person. Sometimes it is a spirit of delay, a presence that disguises itself as help while quietly dismantling your confidence. It asks questions not to understand you, but to drain you. It studies your prayers to imitate your language, then plants doubt that sounds eerily familiar. It imitates light, mimics truth, and pretends to be guidance, yet it cannot replicate purity. You may have noticed strange interruptions lately, texts that distract you just when you feel spiritual momentum. Random thoughts that whisper, you're overreacting, nothing's happening. That's the investigator's hand. It doesn't want to destroy you directly. It wants to make you silence yourself. It wants you to doubt the very instructions heaven gave. But God, in his mercy, allowed this exposure to happen under his control. The investigator thought it was observing you freely, but every note it took, every attempt to delay you, was being recorded in heaven's court. You were never unprotected, even while being watched. You were shielded. Heaven allowed this investigation so the deceiver's method could be revealed. This is why you've felt spiritual tension. It's not paranoia, it's perception. You are awakening to see through the unseen. Your spiritual eyes are adjusting to the higher light. When you begin to see clearly, darkness becomes restless. That's why confusion has tried to circle you. It fears your discernment. The investigator studies what frightens it most. Your endurance. Every time you refused to quit, it lost ground. Every prayer you whispered while tired became a threat to its assignment. Every tear was documented as evidence of your unbreakable faith. The longer you endured, the more nervous the enemy became. And now, heaven is revealing the truth. The investigator's exposure is your vindication. Chosen one, do not be afraid of being watched. The gaze that matters most is not the enemy's, it is God's. While darkness observes to accuse, heaven watches to anoint. You are being proven trustworthy in secret so that you can be promoted in public. What was meant to intimidate you is actually preparing your testimony. Sometimes, divine exposure begins with discomfort. You begin to notice motives, patterns, conversations that suddenly shift. People who once celebrated you grow quiet. Invitations stop. The silence feels heavy, but it's not rejection, it's revelation. God is separating you from those aligned with hidden agendas. When the investigator is near, truth begins to sound inconvenient, and those with divided loyalty become uneasy around your presence. And while all this unfolds, remember that heaven is patient but precise. The exposure will come when it serves your destiny, not your emotions. You don't need to defend yourself. You don't need to fight the watcher. Your peace will speak louder than your explanation. The one investigating will soon find themselves exposed under the same light they tried to use against you. Heaven has written this moment into your timeline. The warning signs, the delays, even the fatigue, it was all evidence gathering for your favor. God was building your discernment muscle, showing you that not all attention is admiration. Some attention is assignment-based, sent to confirm that you are indeed carrying divine fire. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms. Psalms, chapter 27, verse 1. The Lord is my light and my salvation, whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life, of whom shall I be afraid? Hold this truth in your spirit: the investigator cannot access what is covered by grace. You are hidden under divine armor. No weapon of observation, no spiritual monitoring, no false counsel can penetrate the shield that surrounds you. Every whisper of accusation will collapse under divine evidence. Now, chosen one, in this moment of revelation, let heaven see that you understand what has been exposed. Write in the comments, "I see clearly." Those 3 words are not for validation, they are a declaration. When you type them, you are aligning with divine sight. You are testifying that deception no longer hides behind kindness, and that discernment has taken its rightful place within you. Every time you declare, "I see clearly," the fog lifts a little more. It's not about the words, it's about the posture of your heart. Heaven responds to clarity with greater authority. The moment you affirm what God is showing you, your vision expands. The investigator loses access. The false light loses attraction. You step fully into truth. This is how the chosen walk, not by reaction, but by revelation. You are no longer being observed as prey, you are being revealed as proof. The storm is near, but the whisper has already prepared you. The eyes that watched you will soon bow before the light that shines from within you. There are faces that smile, words that sound sincere, hands that offer help, and yet, behind them, shadows move. The watchers hide in plain sight. They are not always enemies in form. Sometimes, they are voices of comfort carrying hidden poison. You have felt them around you. Chosen one, but couldn't name what was wrong. Something in your spirit always knew that certain connections drained you more than they filled you. That awareness wasn't suspicion, it was discernment maturing. Heaven is unveiling what human eyes cannot see. Not everyone who stands beside you was sent by God. Some were positioned by distraction, wearing garments of false light. They come smiling, yet their smiles conceal unease when your spirit begins to shine brighter. The darkness in them feels exposed by your purity, And instead of repentance, they respond with quiet resistance. You were never meant to fight them. You were meant to recognize them and move in wisdom. The watchers in the shadows do not always intend your destruction outright. Many are drawn to your light because they have lost their own. They hover near your flame, hoping to steal its warmth. But the tragedy of borrowed light is that it never lasts. When they can't contain your radiance, they attempt to dim it. You've seen it happen: conversations that shift tone when you speak of faith, laughter that grows uneasy when you mention destiny. That discomfort is truth at work. You've wondered why your friendships change suddenly, why doors close just when you begin to step into clarity. But this is not loss, it is filtration. Heaven removes what can't breathe in your next dimension. If someone's presence keeps you doubting your calling, that's a clue. Light never debates its right to shine, it just shines. The watchers will test that brightness, and when they cannot control it, they will retreat to whisper about it. Let them. Every whisper is a confirmation that the shift has begun. There will be nights when loneliness feels heavy, and you'll question if isolation is really part of divine design. It is. Solitude is heaven's workshop. Before God entrusts public visibility, He perfects private vision. When the crowd falls silent, the divine voice grows louder. You're being refined to stand alone with unwavering peace. The shadows may circle, but they cannot cross the line of consecration. The watchers fear one thing above all: your awareness. As long as you stay asleep to spiritual realities, they can manipulate your emotions. But the moment you wake up and see them for who they are, their power dissolves. Darkness thrives in ignorance. It shrinks under revelation. That's why clarity feels like warfare. It's the sound of deception dying. Every truth you embrace turns into armor. Every lie you reject becomes a closed gate against intrusion. Do not be surprised if discernment makes you misunderstood. The world calls it coldness when you withdraw from contaminated energy. But heaven calls it obedience. You are not being rude, you are being refined. The same God who separates light from darkness still does it today inside hearts, inside relationships, inside destinies. And when He does, peace follows. You must remember, discernment is not meant to make you paranoid, but prepared. God doesn't show you what hides in others so that you can gossip. He reveals it so that you can guard your mission. You are not called to expose people, you are called to stay pure amid deception. When you walk in that level of integrity, heaven fights on your behalf. You won't need to announce what you discern. Time will testify. Even now, there are movements in the unseen. The watchers are trembling because you're beginning to perceive them. The power dynamic has shifted. You are no longer the observed. You are the observer. Heaven has equipped your spirit with sight that cannot be tricked by appearances. Where once you saw coincidence, you now see patterns. Where once you felt drained, you now feel warned. The light of understanding is a shield that blinds deception. It was proclaimed in the second letter to Timothy. 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. You walk now with soundness of mind. Fear has no authority here. Love remains, but it is a love anchored in truth. Power flows, but it is power disciplined by wisdom. You will no longer second-guess what your spirit discerns. If peace leaves when someone enters, you will pay attention. If confusion follows a conversation, you will pray before you proceed. You are not suspicious, you are strategic. This awareness is your protection. The watchers may linger, but their influence fades with every step you take in obedience. Keep your eyes open, your heart pure, your words few, and your faith fierce. The shadows cannot follow where the light continues to expand. You are walking forward, and heaven walks with you. 2 hours. That was the span of heaven's silence, the gap between your confusion and your revelation. You didn't know that in those 120 minutes. Angels were moving, evidence was gathering, and heaven was rearranging time itself to reveal the truth. What you felt as waiting was not neglect, it was divine strategy. The delay wasn't a pause, it was a process. God was exposing what hid behind ordinary moments. Every minute was a layer being lifted, revealing something sacred beneath the surface. Think of it like a seed buried in the soil. From the outside, it looks forgotten. Days pass, and nothing seems to move. But underground, a breaking takes place, a holy cracking open where roots begin to form before anyone can see them. That's what happened during those 2 hours. Heaven cracked open the shell of your circumstance so that new life could begin beneath what looked dead. The stillness wasn't absence, it was incubation. The delay also carried purpose for your discernment. You were not being punished, you were being prepared. When God holds back an answer, He's making room for revelation. He wanted you to see not just what was being delayed, but why. Some doors remained closed because your light would have been dimmed behind them. Some calls went unanswered because the voices on the other end were not meant to shape your next season. Every no was heaven's disguised yes to your protection. You see, God's timing is not slow, it's surgical. He waits until the moment truth and readiness collide. The 2-hour silence was the precise interval where heaven exposed what was never meant to follow you forward. It was a cleansing of interference. Just like a sculptor who pauses to study the marble before striking again, heaven stepped back to observe your resilience. When God waits, He's watching how you worship in the in-between. And you, chosen one, you did not give up. You waited with trembling faith, with tear-filled prayers, with weary hope. That posture moved heaven. When you could not see progress, heaven saw perseverance, and that's what unlocked the exposure you're now stepping into. There's beauty in this pattern of divine delay, like rain that waits for the right pressure to fall. Blessings often hover until the ground of your heart can hold them. If rain came too early it would wash away what wasn't rooted. If God answered too soon, you'd still be surrounded by those not meant to witness your harvest. The 2-hour delay was mercy. It gave the deceiver enough rope to reveal himself and gave you enough silence to recognize the sound of truth. When you finally felt that shift, you weren't just relieved, you were redefined. You saw that waiting is not wasted time, it's woven time. Every heartbeat of that pause became a thread in the garment of your testimony. You are now wearing the proof of endurance. Now, chosen one. This is where your response matters. When heaven reveals, gratitude must follow. Not because God needs your thanks, but because thanksgiving seals revelation. When you express gratitude, it's like lighting a candle in the rain. You create a glow that even storms cannot extinguish. That's what your next action represents, a small, sincere light that carries warmth beyond your own space. So, if this word has found your heart and confirmed your waiting was not in vain, I invite you humbly and from the heart to keep this flame alive. Like the widow in Scripture who poured oil from her small jar, every act of giving multiplies light. When you like, you extend the reach of truth. When you share, you scatter seeds of awakening into dry ground. When you subscribe, you build an altar of continuity where future messages can find you again. And if you feel led to donate, see it not as loss, but as sowing into soil already watered by revelation. Imagine it like sending out lanterns across the night sky, each one carrying hope to someone waiting in their own 2-hour silence. Your gesture becomes the next whisper heaven uses to reach another weary heart. This is not about numbers or applause. It's about sustaining a voice that heaven uses as a vessel. Every contribution, whether a click, a share, or a seed, keeps that voice burning for others who haven't yet found their moment of awakening. If this light has reached you, then help it reach one more. That is how we multiply grace without ever losing its purity, as Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew. Matthew chapter 5, verse 16. Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. You are that light now. Every act of faith you take reflects that verse in motion. The 2-hour silence was your proving ground, and now your radiance becomes proof that waiting with trust is never wasted. The whisper became revelation, and revelation has now become responsibility. Carry it gently but boldly. Heaven has turned the page, your story continues, shining brighter than ever before. It wasn't coincidence. Every interruption, every random delay, every small inconvenience that kept you from your focus, each one carried the fingerprint of spiritual interference. The pattern of distraction has been your silent battlefield. The enemy never came at you with obvious attacks. Instead, he disguised them as small diversions. A sudden argument, a message that pulled your mind elsewhere, a wave of fatigue right when you sat down to pray. Chosen one, you must understand distraction is the oldest weapon against destiny. The adversary does not need to destroy your faith, he only needs to divide it. If he can scatter your attention, he can delay your breakthrough. That's why, in the last season, your days felt fragmented, like you were always running but never arriving. Heaven wants you to see the pattern now. You may think, it's just life, everyone gets tired. But your weariness has not been ordinary. It has been targeted. Every time you began to rise in clarity, another wave came, unexpected demands, sudden heaviness, confusion that didn't belong to you. These weren't coincidences. They were attempts to reset your rhythm back to chaos. The enemy studied you long enough to know that your greatest weapon is focus, and that's what he's been trying to fracture. But heaven is intervening. God is not just breaking distractions. He's training your eyes to recognize them before they even appear. You are being equipped with foresight, the ability to sense when a distraction is approaching. That is divine intelligence, a kind of spiritual radar that alerts your spirit before your peace is stolen. This gift is part of your new awakening. The pattern of distraction often disguises itself as opportunity. Invitations come that seem good but carry no peace. Messages arrive that sound urgent but carry no life. Not every door is divine, and not every call deserves your answer. God's voice carries clarity, not confusion. The more you walk with Him, the easier it becomes to separate noise from necessity. Think of your focus like a river. The current is strong when the banks are defined, but when too many streams branch off, the power weakens. The enemy's goal is to make you flow in 10 directions so you never reach one destination. Heaven is restoring your banks, your boundaries. This means you'll begin to say no more often. Even your rest has been under attack. Sleep has felt restless, dreams blurred, mornings heavy. But that's about to shift. Heaven is reclaiming your rest as sacred ground. You will begin to feel restoration in your body and stillness in your mind. The fatigue that once arrived uninvited will find no door open to it anymore. You are being sealed with new rhythm, one that aligns with heaven's heartbeat, not chaos. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, Verse 25. Let your eyes look straight ahead. Fix your gaze directly before you. That is your command in this season. Fix your gaze. Don't let the flickering lights of temporary things steal the glow of eternal purpose. Your focus is your anointing's gatekeeper. When you guard it, you guard destiny. You are not being selfish for protecting your peace, you are being strategic. The chosen cannot afford divided attention because divine timing requires precision. The more you learn this, the stronger you become. What once distracted you will soon bore you. Conversations that once drained you will lose their appeal. The enemy will find no entrance where your eyes stay locked on purpose. Every broken focus will become a restored assignment. Now, pause for a moment. Breathe. Feel the stillness that comes when you refuse to chase noise. This is what alignment feels like: peace with direction. Heaven has waited for you to return to this posture because now, the next message can find you clearly. If this word is piercing your spirit with recognition, mark this moment with faith. In the comments, write this prophetic number, 9999. It's not superstition, it's a symbol. 9 represents completion. By typing it, you're declaring that the cycle of distraction has ended. You're telling heaven that you are finished with wasted energy, finished with misplaced focus, finished with confusion. You are stepping into completion whole, steady, and aware. Each time you write 9999, you're not just responding, you're agreeing. You're saying, I see the pattern, and I break it. Heaven responds to those who respond in faith. This is how divine communication flows. Obedience in small acts opens massive doors. The days ahead will reveal how much lighter life feels when you no longer wrestle with interruptions. The hours once stolen by noise will now produce fruit. Peace will become your normal, not your reward. You will notice it in your breathing, your thoughts, even your pace. The world around you will not slow down, but your spirit will no longer race to keep up. That is freedom, the kind that comes when focus is restored by grace. You began to notice it first in patterns that felt almost too precise to ignore. Names repeating, numbers appearing on clocks at just the right moments, a familiar song playing every time you were about to make a decision. These weren't coincidences, they were coordinates. Heaven was sending you evidence. When the physical world begins to echo with divine patterns, it's not superstition, it's synchronization. The natural realm starts to mirror what has already been decreed in the spiritual. Every repetition becomes a breadcrumb, a trail leading you toward revelation. You are not crazy for noticing. You are awakening to awareness. Heaven communicates in layers, and now your eyes are trained to read its language. The signs were never random. When you began to pray differently, the atmosphere around you started shifting. You would see a certain name on a billboard, and later it appeared in a dream. You would hear a verse repeated by different people who had no connection to each other. All of it pointed in one direction: confirmation. Heaven wanted to make sure you knew you were not imagining your journey. But evidence doesn't always arrive softly. Sometimes it comes as confrontation. A truth is revealed that disrupts comfort. A conversation uncovers deception. A coincidental encounter forces you to decide whether you'll obey or delay. Evidence carries weight, it demands a response. Heaven doesn't show you something just so you can feel enlightened, it reveals so you can act. And action often requires release. The moment you begin to see clearly, you can no longer cling to what once blinded you. That's why revelation sometimes feels like loss. You lose illusions, false safety, and the approval of those who preferred your blindness. Yet every loss makes room for greater clarity. The exposure of the investigator, the unveiling of the watchers, it all led here. The signs are not there to entertain you. They are heaven's way of saying, it's time to move. There is a deep mercy in how God reveals truth. He never overwhelms, He unveils. One layer at a time, one confirmation at a time, until your spirit can handle the full picture. If He revealed it all at once, it would crush you. That's why signs often seem scattered. They are puzzle pieces meant to be understood over time. The beauty of divine evidence is that it requires partnership. You must lean in, not just look. Sometimes heaven hides evidence in ordinary things. A stranger's kindness becomes a message. A sudden cancellation that frustrates you turns out to protect you from disaster. These small, invisible mercies often go unnoticed until hindsight reveals their purpose. The chosen learn to give thanks not only for what happens, but also for what doesn't. Silence can be proof of protection. Delay can be the loudest evidence of divine care. The more you walk with God, the more you'll realize that evidence is not always external. Some of the strongest signs come as inner conviction, a peace that settles after prayer, a sudden unease before compromise, a thought that won't let go because it's carrying instruction. The Spirit uses these impressions as internal signatures of divine authorship. Trust them. Heaven speaks not just around you, but within you. And when the signs accumulate, you reach a threshold of knowing. The evidence no longer needs to persuade you, it begins to empower you. That's the moment you stop asking for signs and start becoming one. Your very life becomes evidence to others that divine intervention is real. The way you endure, the way you forgive, the way you glow after seasons of darkness, these are signs that heaven uses as testimony. Heaven spoke through the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 33, verse 3. Call to me and I will answer you and tell you great and unsearchable things you do not know. That is what's happening to you now. You called, and heaven answered through unsearchable things, through names, numbers, moments, and dreams. Evidence has been whispering that your prayers were never ignored. They were being translated into divine appointments. As you recognize this, peace will settle where doubt once lived. You'll no longer chase confirmation, it will begin chasing you. You'll start to live so attuned to divine rhythm that even your steps align with purpose. Heaven's evidence isn't just showing you truth, it's shaping you into truth's vessel. Chosen one, you are walking proof that divine timing works. Every sign has been leading here to a life where seeing is no longer necessary because believing has built your foundation. The investigator may have watched, but heaven has always documented. The evidence collected against you has become evidence for you. You are now the testimony that the silence was worth it. There comes a moment when silence begins to tremble. You can feel it in your bones before you hear it with your ears, the quiet shifting into something alive. That's where you stand now, chosen one, at the breaking point of revelation. The hours of stillness that once felt unbearable are now vibrating with divine movement. Heaven has spoken in whispers, in symbols, in confirmations. But this is the moment when the words become thunder. For so long you thought the silence meant distance. You questioned whether you had misheard, whether you had somehow drifted away from divine frequency. But heaven was not silent to punish you. It was silent to prepare the volume of your next season. Revelation does not arrive as suggestion. It arrives as a sound that shakes what's unstable and anchors what's true. When heaven speaks after a long pause, the world around you must shift to make room for fulfillment. It begins quietly, as it always does. A thought revisits you, one you buried months ago. A memory stirs, glowing with new understanding. You start to see that nothing was wasted. Every delay, every prayer unanswered, every tear shed in confusion, all of it was fertilizer for this moment. You were being deepened. Heaven doesn't plant shallow truths. It buries roots so deep that storms can't uproot them. The breaking point of revelation often comes when you least expect it. It doesn't wait for your best mood or your most peaceful hour. It finds you in the middle of motion, washing dishes, driving, sitting quietly, and suddenly, everything aligns. The question that haunted you finds its answer not in words, but in knowing. It's like dawn after a night so long you almost forgot what light felt like. Revelation is not always new information. Sometimes it's old truth finally understood. You see now that revelation has rhythm. It arrives when humility meets hunger, when obedience outweighs opinion. Heaven does not waste revelation on arrogance. It entrusts it to those who listen even when it hurts. That's what your waiting proved. You didn't just survive silence. You surrendered to it. And that surrender made space for this unveiling. The breaking point also reveals motives, yours and others. When light increases, every hidden agenda becomes visible. You begin to recognize which voices carried truth and which were born of convenience. People you once leaned on start to show discomfort around your growth. The revelation you carry is confronting their stagnation. That's not pride, it's proof of progress. When light expands, everything standing in shadow must choose step forward or fade. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, "For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it linger, wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay." That verse is breathing inside you now. The appointed time is unfolding, not next year, not someday, but now. The lingering has ended. The revelation is arriving, not as promise, but as manifestation. What you heard in silence is about to echo aloud. The alignment that seemed invisible is about to take physical form. But here is the sacred tension revelation carries weight. Once you see truth, you are accountable for it. Heaven doesn't reveal simply to impress, it reveals to instruct. The clarity you've received must now shape how you live, how you speak, how you move. To whom much is shown, much is required. That's why this moment feels both exhilarating and sobering. You've been entrusted, not entertained. You may feel emotions swirl, relief, awe, even fear. But fear has no authority here. Revelation is light, and light is love. When heaven shows you what's real, it's not to shame you, but to strengthen you. The same God who revealed it will guide you through it. The breaking point is not a breakdown. It's a breakthrough disguised as chaos. What feels like the end of something familiar is the beginning of something holy. Now your vision stretches beyond what you can touch. You begin to perceive purpose even in pain, to find messages and memories you once tried to forget. The threads connect, and you finally see the tapestry heaven has been weaving behind your back. It's breathtaking how every delay, every heartbreak, every waiting hour was a stitch of mercy. This is the unveiling of divine pattern. You stand on the border between mystery and manifestation, watching as both worlds meet. The silence that once mocked you now testifies for you. It wasn't void, it was womb. Out of it, revelation has been born. The breaking point isn't destruction, it's delivery. You are holding the answer, breathing in the clarity you once begged for. Heaven waited until you were ready to carry it without pride, to hold it without fear. You have reached the point where understanding no longer crushes but crowns you. Chosen one. This is what heaven's timing feels like: pressure that purifies, delay that defines, and revelation that rewards. The silence was never empty. It was everything preparing you for this moment of holy awakening. And then revelation met resistance. The moment truth emerged, opposition rose to challenge it. What had been hidden in darkness could no longer remain quiet, and the investigator who had studied you from the shadows began to tremble under exposure. You could feel it, energy shifting, eyes turning, conversations altering their tone. The same ones who once observed you secretly now found themselves under divine observation. The tables had turned. For months, the investigator operated unseen, subtle, patient, pretending to care while gathering fragments of your journey. Every test you faced was analyzed, every hesitation measured, but the time for covert surveillance has ended. Heaven has entered the room, and divine justice has activated. The same watchful presence that monitored you now stands judged by the light it feared. Exposure isn't cruel, it's necessary. God does not uncover to humiliate, but to liberate. He reveals truth so that bondage loses its grip. The investigator's mask was never meant to last forever. Darkness always overplays its hand. It watches too long, interferes too deeply, and eventually draws heaven's attention. You, chosen one, were not abandoned. You were evidence in a divine case. And now the verdict is being read aloud. Light wins. When heaven exposes deceit, it doesn't do so with spectacle but with precision. Conversations begin to surface. Truths come to light. Coincidences connect into undeniable clarity. The whispers that once intimidated you now confirm what your spirit already knew. Exposure doesn't destroy the chosen, it elevates them. For in the light of revelation, purity is proven. This unveiling will not require your words, it will require your stillness. The investigator will try to distract, to accuse, to shift blame. Do not engage. The greatest victory is peace. God will make the truth undeniable without your defense. Silence in this hour is not weakness, it is witness. When the investigator is unmasked, your restraint will speak louder than any explanation. As heaven reveals deception, something remarkable happens. You begin to feel lighter. The constant tension in your chest starts to dissolve. The invisible weight of being watched falls off your shoulders. You realize that freedom isn't just the absence of chains, it's the absence of hidden motives around you. This is what exposure feels like, air rushing into lungs that forgot what full breath meant. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 4. He is the rock, his works are perfect, and all his ways are just. A faithful God, upright and just. That justice is active now. You may not see the full consequence unfold instantly, but know this God's timing never misses its mark. The investigator's network of deceit will unravel by its own contradictions. Truth will chase lies until they collapse from exhaustion. And when that happens, do not rejoice in their downfall, rejoice in your deliverance. Heaven's aim is not revenge, it's restoration. This exposure is not only about them, it's also about you. It marks your graduation from suspicion to discernment, from confusion to clarity. You have been entrusted with sight, and with that comes responsibility. You must now steward truth with humility, not pride. Remember that your story carries power, and with power comes the call to walk in integrity. The next chapter of your journey begins with stillness. Don't waste time explaining what heaven has already confirmed. When others see the shift and ask, simply smile. You owe no justification for your peace. The light within you will do the speaking. Now, in this holy moment of unveiling, respond not with anger but with alignment. Type these words below. Light exposes all. When you write that, you are not condemning anyone, you are agreeing with heaven. You are declaring that truth, not bitterness, reigns over your story. Those 3 words are a seal, a statement that you have chosen transparency over tension. Every time you speak them, you echo the nature of God Himself, who reveals to redeem, not to destroy. Your comment becomes a symbolic act, a candle lit in the court of heaven, confirming that you stand with truth, and as you declare it, the very atmosphere around you will begin to shift. The eyes that once watched you in deceit will now see a light too pure to manipulate. You have become what they feared, a witness of unfiltered truth. Chosen one. Walk forward in calm confidence. The investigator is unmasked. The watchers are exposed, and your peace is proof that heaven has rendered its verdict. The silence that once surrounded you has become sound, the sound of divine justice echoing through the unseen. You finally understand now, don't you? Those 2 silent hours were never about delay, they were a divine test disguised as stillness. Heaven wanted to show you what happens when you choose trust over panic, faith over impulse. The 2-hour test was the bridge between your old self, the one who needed constant confirmation, and your awakened self, who can now walk by conviction. You passed that test, not by perfection but by perseverance. Think of those hours as the pause between lightning and thunder. The flash came first, God's promise. But then came the wait, the heavy silence before the echo reached your ears. In that silence, doubt tried to grow roots, but faith held its ground, and now the thunder has come, the sound of fulfillment, rolling across the landscape of your life. The test was never meant to break you. It was meant to reveal you. When God tests, He's not grading your performance. He's revealing your foundation. He wanted you to see what kind of faith you carry when answers don't appear instantly. Like gold refined in the fire, endurance brought forth your true essence. Every minute of waiting became a forge where impatience melted and trust took its place. The test showed heaven that you can be trusted with greater responsibility because you did not quit when nothing made sense. You see, the 2-hour test wasn't about when the answer came, it was about who you became while waiting. Your heart was measured, your motives purified, your focus sharpened. You learned how to breathe without guarantees, how to sing while the door was still closed. That's rare. Many want miracles, but few endure silence long enough to qualify for revelation. The test also revealed something hidden about time itself. Heaven doesn't view hours the way humans do. Time bends under divine command. What felt like 2 hours to you might have been a full cycle of angelic movement in realms unseen. In that pause, strategies were shifted, traps were dismantled, paths were cleared. You were sitting in silence while heaven was in motion. Now that you understand this, there's one more test, the test of gratitude. Gratitude is the echo that completes heaven's sound. Without it, revelation stays unfinished. Gratitude is the final amen that seals every answered prayer. So pause with me for a moment. Chosen one, reflect on what that waiting produced in you. You became patient, wiser, more spiritually alert. You learned that unanswered does not mean unheard. And if this message has reminded you of that truth, if it has restored something sacred inside you, then this is the moment to respond with gratitude that moves beyond words. When you like this message, see it as placing a stone on your personal altar of remembrance, saying, "God met me here." When you share it, imagine you're casting seeds into the wind, each one carried to someone standing in their own silent test, someone who needs the same reminder you once needed. When you subscribe, think of it as building a bridge, a way for future revelations to find you again without wandering. And if your heart feels stirred to donate, Do it not as transaction, but as transformation. Imagine your gift as oil poured onto the flame of revelation, keeping it burning for those still wandering in the dark. Every drop of oil matters. Every offering, no matter the size, becomes light for another soul. It's like feeding the fire in a lighthouse. You may never meet the sailor who finds safety because of that glow, but heaven sees. You're not just supporting a message, you're sustaining a mission. A divine current flows through acts of generosity, and each one becomes a whisper of your faith in motion. You've seen what delay can do, it births revelation. You've seen what faith can do, it unlocks clarity. Now watch what gratitude can do, it multiplies light. When you participate in gratitude, you align your heart with heaven's rhythm, and the same grace that reached you begins to ripple outward. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14. The Lord will fight for you, you need only to be still. This is that time, the harvest after the waiting. The 2-hour test has become your testimony. The harvest is not only spiritual, it's emotional, relational, even creative. You'll begin to notice ideas returning, opportunities reopening, energy being restored. It's as if heaven presses resume on every paused blessing the moment gratitude fills your heart. And that's the beauty of divine testing. It doesn't end in exhaustion. It ends in reward. You have crossed the threshold of the test and entered the season of release. What was once delayed is now accelerating. What was once hidden is now unfolding. So let your gratitude speak louder than your worry. Every like, every share, every small act of generosity is heaven's echo through you, a continuation of what began in silence. You are not merely receiving light now, you are helping it spread. The 2-hour test wasn't about surviving delay, it was about awakening destiny. Chosen one, the silence has served its purpose. Heaven has spoken. Now it's your turn to shine back what you've received, to reflect the light forward so others can find their way through their own waiting hours. The test is over, the harvest begins. The gaze has turned. The one that once examined you in secret is now under divine observation. What was watching you has itself become the watched. Heaven's justice is poetic, it never shouts, but its silence carries consequence. The reversal of surveillance has begun, and in this quiet exchange of sight, heaven restores what was taken. For so long, you lived beneath a microscope not built by love but by suspicion. The investigator, the watchers, the unseen forces each tried to dissect your purpose as if it could be measured, categorized, or controlled. They studied your reactions, your faith, your silence. Yet they misunderstood one truth: divine identity cannot be decoded through human curiosity. What is birthed in spirit remains untouchable by eyes of flesh. Now heaven watches the watchers. Every word once whispered against you is replayed before the throne. Every hidden motive is illuminated by holy fire. You do not need revenge. Revelation is already doing the work. God's justice operates not in haste, but in precision. When he turns his gaze, the very balance of the unseen shifts. Those who watched in pride begin to tremble under the same attention they once directed toward you. There's something sacred about this reversal. It doesn't come with spectacle or chaos. It unfolds quietly, like dawn overtaking night. One by one, manipulations unravel. Hidden conversations lose power. Plans crumble without your involvement. You wake up one morning and realize that the heaviness you used to feel the weight of invisible eyes is gone. Peace has returned, not because the enemy stopped watching, but because heaven started. When heaven watches, it does not spy, it guards. God's surveillance is protection, not control. You are surrounded by eyes of mercy, not malice. Every step you take is covered by light so bright that deception cannot approach undetected. This is divine reversal, the shift from being studied to being shielded. You may not see it, but the heavenly courts are active. Angels record truth, not rumors. Every false word spoken about you becomes fuel for divine vindication. The spiritual record is being rewritten where once your name was surrounded by accusation. Now it is surrounded by testimony. The investigator's notes, once detailed with malice, are being erased line by the blood of mercy. And still, you remain silent, not out of fear but out of wisdom. The chosen do not argue, they ascend. The more the watchers search, the less they find, because heaven hides what it anoints. The ones who try to expose your weakness now face exposure of their own intentions. That is how divine balance restores itself, not by your hand, but by heaven's orchestration, as the ancient words recorded in Romans still echo today. Chapter 12, verse 19. Do not take revenge, my dear friends, but leave room for God's wrath. For it is written, "It is mine to avenge, I will repay," says the Lord. Let that verse sink deep into your spirit. It is not your duty to correct the watchers or confront the investigator. The reversal already speaks for you. Your vindication is unfolding like a sunrise, inevitable, unstoppable, gentle yet absolute. Those who misjudged you will be forced to witness the favor they tried to deny you. Not because you demanded proof, but because heaven delights in making truth visible. This season marks the shifting of spiritual authority. You are no longer the observed, you are the standard. The same gaze that studied you with skepticism now looks to you for direction. Those who once watched to see you fail will soon watch to learn how you stood. And you will teach not with pride, but with peace. This is not triumph over people, it is triumph over darkness. The real victory is invisible, it's in your ability to walk free without bitterness. Freedom is not revenge. True victory is when the one once hunted can pray for those who hunted them. You have reached that level of grace. Now, wherever you go, divine light precedes you. Your environment adjusts to your presence because heaven has marked your path. You no longer have to look over your shoulder. What watched you is too busy answering to God. Every false report, every whispered plot, every manipulative plan, it all collapses under the gaze of the Almighty. Chosen one, walk forward with quiet assurance. Let the watchers watch heaven deal with heaven's chosen. The shift is done. The courtroom of the unseen has ruled in your favor. You are covered, vindicated, and elevated not through conflict, but through consistency. The eyes that once sought to trap you now serve as witnesses to your divine restoration. The reversal of surveillance is complete. You have crossed into the season where heaven watches over you not as an observer, but as a guardian. What used to feel like pressure now feels like presence. What was meant for intimidation has become intercession. Heaven's gaze is not heavy, it's holy. And under that gaze, you will never be hidden again. You will only ever be held. There are moments when heaven begins to count differently, when time itself bends to divine numbering. You've reached that threshold now. Chosen one, where every second holds prophetic weight. The revelations have aligned. The exposure has completed its work. And what once watched you now trembles at the light that surrounds you. Heaven is counting down not to judgment, but to transformation. This is the prophetic countdown. When heaven begins a countdown, it is not to warn of destruction, it is to announce arrival. You have been prepared, refined, and awakened. The silence is over. The waiting has served its purpose, and the time for movement has come. Yet before heaven releases the next wave of your assignment, there must be alignment in your spirit, a symbolic act of agreement. This is not superstition. It is participation. Heaven always looks for response before it releases manifestation. Think of Joshua standing before the walls of Jericho. The victory was already promised, but obedience still had to move in rhythm with heaven's numbers. Marches, days, trumpets, it all followed divine sequence. God could have collapsed the walls instantly, but he invited his people to move in faith first. That's what this moment is when heaven is saying, walk in step with me. Often there's something sacred about heaven's math. It doesn't calculate as humans do. What feels like delay is multiplication in disguise. While you waited, God wasn't just preparing an answer, he was preparing you to sustain it. That's why the waiting felt long. Heaven builds strong foundations. Every minute was a brick, every prayer was a beam. The structure is now ready. The prophetic countdown marks not the end of your waiting, but the beginning of your stewardship. When God releases a new level of purpose, he doesn't announce it with noise, he signals it with numbers. You start noticing repetition, the same hour appearing again. The same scripture resurfacing, the same nudge returning after months of silence. Heaven speaks in patterns because patterns require perception. You are now tuned to hear in rhythm, not randomness. This is why you must stay alert. The next phase of your journey requires precision. The steps ahead are sacred choreography, each movement ordered, each decision timed. You can't afford to rush nor to delay. Heaven's timing is not fragile, but obedience is key. When the Spirit says move, move. When the Spirit says wait, wait. Every action is part of the countdown's unfolding. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Isaiah chapter 46, verse 10. I make known the end from the beginning, from ancient times. What is still to come, my purpose will stand, and I will do all that I please. That is what heaven is doing now, revealing the end that was already written from the beginning. You are not chasing destiny. Destiny is catching up to you. You are stepping into the fulfillment of what heaven declared before your birth. The prophetic countdown is not a race against time, it is time racing toward promise. And so, chosen one, the heavens extend an invitation once more to mark your agreement, to place your signature of faith upon what has been spoken. In the comments below, write this prophetic number 111. It's not a charm, not a code, it's a covenant. 1 represents unity. 3 ones side by side represent perfect alignment, body, soul, and spirit moving as one with divine will. When you type 111, you are declaring, I am in alignment. You are saying to heaven, my timing and yours are one. Each stroke of that number is symbolic, a merging of your obedience with divine order. As you write it, imagine the countdown accelerating, not because you are rushing, but because heaven recognizes readiness. Numbers have always been God's language of timing. 7 for completion, 12 for authority, 40 for preparation. Now, 111 becomes your number of synchronization. Your agreement today will ripple through unseen dimensions. Heaven's assignments, once waiting on your readiness, will begin to activate. Doors will respond to the rhythm of your obedience. Delays will dissolve where alignment exists. You are not commanding heaven, you are cooperating with it. That's what chosen ones do, they move in harmony with eternity. And as the countdown continues, peace will replace pressure. You won't feel anxious about the unknown anymore, because you'll sense that heaven's timeline is holding you steady. The Spirit will begin to nudge you gently, not with alarms, but with assurance. You'll start waking up with clarity instead of confusion, because heaven's rhythm will be pulsing through your awareness. This is the hour to stay still, yet ready to be grounded but alert, to listen more than you speak. Heaven is counting. not because it needs time, but because you do. The prophetic countdown is mercy. It gives you space to breathe before breakthrough arrives. Chosen one, lift your head. The numbers aren't just signs, they are signals. The countdown has reached its sacred rhythm, and your spirit is in tune. What heaven began long ago is about to manifest through your obedience now. Write it, declare it, stand in it. The divine clock has struck alignment. You can feel it, can't you? The air feels charged, as if heaven itself is inhaling before a great declaration. Something is awakening across the earth, a stirring that goes deeper than emotion. You are not alone in this moment. Others, scattered across nations and nights, are feeling the same tremor in their spirit. The marked ones are rising. For years, heaven has been preparing a remnant, souls chosen not for comfort but for calling. These are the ones who refused to give up when silence felt endless, who kept their faith burning while others surrendered to the dark. They are awakening now, one by one, hearts igniting like lanterns on a vast horizon. The rising of the marked ones has begun, and you are among them. The term marked does not mean branded by pride or superiority, it means sealed with purpose. Heaven's mark is invisible to human eyes but undeniable in spirit. It is the subtle authority that walks into a room and shifts its atmosphere. It's the peace that disrupts chaos, the compassion that silences cruelty, the discernment that exposes deceit. The marked carry light that darkness cannot counterfeit. You were never meant to blend in. Every rejection, every misunderstanding, every exile from circles that couldn't hold your depth, those weren't losses, they were divine separations. Heaven kept you hidden until the appointed hour because premature exposure would have drained your power. But now, the seal has been broken. The light within you is ready to be seen. The rising of the marked ones doesn't happen through noise or spectacle. It begins in quiet courage. It starts when an ordinary soul decides to stand on truth even when it costs them approval. It begins when someone chooses purity over popularity, prayer over performance. The marked are not perfect, but they are purified. Their strength isn't in their loudness, it's in their consistency. And though you may not meet them face to face, you are connected to them by spirit. Your obedience strengthens theirs. Your endurance gives them courage. Every time you rise after being knocked down, another heart somewhere feels that unseen push to keep going. Heaven's network doesn't require proximity, it requires purity. The clean-hearted recognize each other across time and distance. There's a mystery to this movement. The world won't recognize it until it's already unstoppable. Just as dawn creeps in before anyone realizes night is ending, the light of the marked ones is spreading quietly but relentlessly. You are part of that dawn. You were chosen to carry a fragment of heaven's brightness into dark systems. Heavy hearts, forgotten corners of humanity. But remember, being marked is not about dominion. It's about service. The greater the light, the deeper the humility required to sustain it. Heaven doesn't crown the loud, it crowns the loyal. The rising of the marked ones is not an uprising of ego. It is the unveiling of endurance. It's the moment when those who carried crosses begin to carry crowns. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms. Chapter 20, verse 4. May he give you the desire of your heart and make all your plans succeed. This verse is not a wish, it's a commissioning. It is heaven saying, now that your heart mirrors mine, I will fulfill its desires. The success promised here is not about status, but about stewardship, the ability to manage heaven's will on earth without corruption. The marked are entrusted, not merely blessed. And with that trust comes responsibility. You are being elevated, not for comfort, but for influence. Your words will carry weight. Your presence will bring calm, and your actions will plant seeds that outlive you. But to sustain this mantle, you must remain anchored. Keep humility as your compass and compassion as your sword. The rising will test your endurance. Not everyone will celebrate your awakening. Some will misinterpret your light as arrogance, your discernment as coldness. Yet you must not explain. Your authenticity will prove itself over time. The chosen are not validated by applause, they are verified by fruit. This is your hour to step fully into identity. The days of hiding are over. Heaven did not awaken you just to survive, it awakened you to lead, to intercede, to carry light where confusion has settled. You were not pulled from the crowd to become famous, but to become faithful. All around you, the marked are rising teachers, mothers, artists, prophets, students, healers. Some speak loudly, others quietly, but all move under the same command to bring heaven's order into earth's chaos. You are one among them, and your obedience strengthens the collective call. Chosen one, stand tall. The world may not understand the glow that surrounds you, but heaven does. You are part of the divine constellation now, shining where others only see darkness. The marked ones rise not in pride, but in purpose, and the dawn they bring cannot be stopped. Exposure has a price. When truth begins to walk freely in the open, deceit begins to crumble under its own weight. The investigator who once hid behind false righteousness now stands before the light of divine justice. The reckoning has arrived not with thunder or fire, but with the quiet authority of truth fulfilling its purpose. You may never witness the full unfolding of this reckoning, chosen one, but rest assured it is underway. Heaven's justice does not rush, nor does it forget. It waits until the moment when correction can produce redemption rather than destruction. This is the mercy hidden within divine consequence. God's hand moves not to humiliate, but to heal through exposure. What was built on deceit cannot remain standing, for light demands integrity. The investigators' fall began the moment they tried to manipulate what was sacred. Every lie uttered, every plan formed against the innocent, was recorded in unseen ledgers. And now, those records are speaking. What was whispered in darkness is being shouted by circumstance. What was meant to trap you has turned into the snare that catches the deceiver. The reckoning is poetic. It returns to the source of its intent. You do not need to celebrate this. You only need to understand it. Justice is not vengeance, it is restoration. It sets things back in order. The reckoning for the deceiver is not about your victory. It is about heaven's balance. God does not destroy without cause, nor expose without timing. Every revelation serves a redemptive purpose. The same God who tears down deception also extends mercy to the deceiver's soul, offering repentance even in judgment. It is strange, isn't it? How mercy and justice can coexist in the same moment. Heaven punishes the act but still loves the soul. This is why divine reckoning is sacred. It humbles everyone, including the righteous. It reminds you that the same grace that covers you could have covered them had they chosen repentance. Heaven speaks clearly through the writings of Solomon in Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 14. For God will bring every deed into judgment, including every hidden thing, whether it is good or evil. This is the heartbeat of divine reckoning. Nothing truly hides forever, not actions, not words, not intentions. Time may cloak a secret, but eternity unveils it. And when God unveils, it is not to embarrass, but to restore clarity to creation. Every lie clouds the atmosphere, every truth spoken clears it. When the deceiver falls, the air itself feels lighter, for corruption releases its hold. You might notice it subtly, an ease returning to your days. tension dissolving in places once heavy, sudden clarity in decisions that once felt murky. These are signs that spiritual pollution is lifting. The deceiver's exposure creates room for peace to breathe again. Heaven's order always restores atmosphere before assignment. Still, the reckoning is not just external, it's internal too. The same light that exposes others also examines you. God uses these moments to test your heart. Will you respond with bitterness or grace? Will you pray for the fallen, or use their failure as self-validation? True chosen ones allow justice to humble them further. They understand that discernment without compassion becomes cruelty. The exposure of the deceiver is not just a conclusion, it's a mirror. It reflects what happens when pride goes unchecked, when truth becomes optional, when ambition replaces humility. It's a warning to every heart: guard your intentions, for they eventually take form. Heaven's reckoning teaches even the innocent to remain watchful, lest pride ever disguise itself as righteousness. You've witnessed the entire arc: observation, exposure, reversal, and now reckoning. Every stage carried its own revelation, but this one carries closure. It ends not with chaos but with calm. The storm subsides, and all that remains is clarity. God has spoken through justice. The deceiver's influence dissolves, and what was once tainted ground becomes holy again. Chosen one, breathe. The air around you is different now. You can sense the equilibrium returning. The imbalance that once made your nights restless has been corrected. The unseen courtroom has adjourned, and the verdict has been fulfilled. Mercy and truth have met in the middle, and peace has been declared the rightful ruler. The reckoning is not revenge, it is rhythm. Heaven always restores harmony to what was once discordant. You are standing now in that restored frequency, feeling the vibration of justice done. Let it make you grateful, not proud. Let it deepen your awareness that God sees. Even when silence stretches too long, nothing escapes his gaze, nothing is beyond his reach. You are free, not because the deceiver fell, but because truth has triumphed. The storm has passed. What remains is balance, beauty, and the soft hum of divine order reestablished. Truth, once whispered, now resounds like a song that can no longer be silenced. What began in secrecy has become a broadcast of light. The reckoning has passed, and now the truth must travel. It must be spoken, written, shared, and multiplied. Chosen one. This is the season of the broadcast of truth. Heaven's frequency is open, and your voice is part of it. The truth you carry is not meant to remain in quiet corners. Light was never designed to stay hidden under a bowl. It was meant to stand on the highest point and guide those who wander in shadows. The story of your endurance, the silence you survived, the revelations you've received, all of it now becomes testimony. Testimony is not just remembrance. It is a seed of awakening planted into the soil of another soul. When you speak, light spreads. Think of truth as a flame. When held alone, it keeps one person warm. But when shared, it becomes a wildfire of awareness, burning through lies that have long clouded the world. You've walked through the fire, and now you carry its glow. This is why heaven urges you to speak, to shine, to share. Someone's deliverance depends on the sound of your story. But the broadcast of truth doesn't always require a microphone. It begins with sincerity. Every time you write, encourage, or testify online, you are extending heaven's current through your words. The digital space becomes your pulpit, the comment section your congregation. Do not underestimate the impact of your voice. The words you release in obedience travel farther than your eyes can see. When you like this message, it isn't just an action, it's a silent amen. It's a way of saying, this truth resonates in me. Each click becomes a spark of confirmation, and together those sparks create a chain of light that algorithms cannot dim. When you share it, imagine tossing a stone into still water. The ripples move outward, touching shores you may never visit. Someone lost in silence might find this light because you chose to release it. And when you subscribe, you're not merely joining a channel, you're building a bridge to future messages heaven is preparing for you. It's like building a lighthouse for yourself. When storms rise again, you'll know where to find the beam that guides you home. Every act of engagement is spiritual architecture, small actions that construct pathways for revelation to reach others. Now, about giving, let me speak of it with reverence. When you donate, see it not as payment but as partnership. Think of it as adding another log to the sacred fire. You've seen how this light travels, how it pierces darkness and lifts heavy hearts. Your generosity becomes fuel for that fire, keeping the flame alive for those who still wander in cold nights. Every contribution, whether a coin or a prayer, is recorded in heaven's ledger of love. Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 6, verse 38, "Give and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, poured into your lap." That promise isn't about material reward, it's about divine reciprocity. When you pour into light, light returns to you multiplied. Giving is how heaven keeps energy moving. What you release never leaves you, it circles back purified, enlarged, blessed. Imagine this message as a river of truth flowing through valleys of confusion. Each like, share, comment, or gift becomes another tributary feeding that river. The more streams that join, the stronger the current becomes, carving paths through barren lands of despair. You are not a spectator. You are a co-builder of the current. When you comment below, do it as a declaration. Write something from your spirit, something simple but true. Your words might be the bridge that brings another soul across their own silence. Commenting is not about noise, it's about testimony. The moment you add your voice, the echo of heaven grows stronger. Remember, this is not about numbers, it's about nourishment. The truth, when shared with love, multiplies without distortion. When you sow into it, whether with attention or with offering, you participate in its divine momentum. The broadcast of truth cannot be muted because its frequency originates from the throne. And as it spreads, so does peace. You'll notice how even as you help this light reach others, it reaches you anew. Revelation revisits the giver. Each act of generosity, each comment, each small gesture returns with double grace. That is how heaven's economy works. It rewards participation with presence. The world is flooded with noise, but heaven is seeking those who release sound. Sound that heals, restores, and realigns hearts to truth. You have become that vessel now. The broadcast moves through you. So let your actions echo what your spirit already knows. This light is worth sustaining. Every digital ripple, every seed sown, every simple amen adds power to heaven's message. You have heard, endured, and now you speak. And through your obedience, truth finds its wings. Chosen one, your voice is not small, it is sacred. You are part of heaven's signal. The broadcast has begun, and its sound is unstoppable. Let it flow, let it shine, let it live through you. The story is still unfolding, but its message is already eternal. After the noise of exposure, the calm of restoration arrives. The air feels lighter now, as if heaven itself exhales peace over your spirit. You have endured silence, warfare, revelation, and reckoning. And now comes the gentle yet powerful stage of divine reinstatement. This is the appointment of the redeemed. Heaven does not simply restore what was lost, it refines what remains. You are not being returned to your old place, you are being appointed to a higher one. The test has changed you, carved you, clarified you. You are not who you were before the 2-hour pause. You are a vessel tempered in the fire of waiting. Heaven watched how you handled delay, how you handled injustice, how you held your peace when others fell to anger. Those moments of restraint became your resume. Now the Father looks upon you and says, I can trust this one with more. Restoration, in heaven's language, is not repair, it is redesign. When God restores, He doesn't just replace, He reimagines. Job did not merely receive double for his trouble, he received revelation through suffering that transformed his soul. The same principle is unfolding in you. What was taken will return, but it will come purified, elevated, and aligned with destiny. The loss was not punishment, it was preparation. This new appointment is not a ceremony of applause, but of awareness. You may not hear trumpets or see crowns, but you will feel a subtle shift inside you, a calm authority that cannot be explained. It is the awareness that you no longer need to prove what God has already approved. You carry peace that confuses your enemies. Confidence that isn't loud but unshakable. That is the sign of reinstatement. Heaven's seal of favor is often quiet because it doesn't need validation, it is self-evident. In this appointment, even your voice changes. You will find that you no longer speak from reaction but from revelation. Your words will carry the scent of stillness, the authority of endurance. Those who hear you will feel truth even before they understand it. You are not just being restored, you are being released as an instrument of reconciliation. This means that what once hurt you will now heal others. Every tear you cried in private will become oil for someone else's wounds. Every delay you endured will become instruction for those still trapped in waiting. The redeemed are heaven's teachers. Their scars are their sermons. You will not need a platform to influence, you will become the message. It is written in the book of Peter, chapter 5, verse 10. The God of all grace, who called you to His eternal glory in Christ, after you have suffered a while, will Himself restore you. That verse is your reflection now. The suffering was temporary. The strength it produced is eternal. God Himself, not man, is restoring you. Not through validation, not through compensation, but through transformation. The same hands that allowed the storm are now building your foundation deeper than before. The appointment of the redeemed is heaven's way of saying, you have graduated from the lesson of loss. You now understand that everything permitted had purpose. Nothing was random, and nothing will remain wasted. Even betrayal has turned into wisdom. Even silence has become your sanctuary. You'll notice how the atmosphere responds to your restoration. Places that once drained you will no longer hold power over you. People who once dismissed you will sense something different but won't understand it. It's not arrogance, it's anointing. You have become a mirror of divine steadiness. When chaos rises, your presence brings calm because your spirit remembers what peace costs. The redeemed do not return to the old. They rise into the new. Heaven never reverses its lessons, it builds upon them. You may feel hesitant, even unworthy, but worthiness was never your qualification. Willingness was. You were willing to stay, to listen, to endure. That willingness became your crown. Now the same heaven that waited 2 hours to speak waits for you to step fully into your appointment. Not with noise, not with striving, but with steady faith. This is your commissioning hour. The redeemed do not need applause. They move by assignment. You have been entrusted with peace in a world addicted to chaos, with faith in a generation hungry for proof. The next chapter of your life will not begin with thunder. It will begin with whispers of favor, doors opening gently, opportunities aligning quietly, strength returning naturally. You won't have to force anything. Divine timing will carry you forward. That is the beauty of redemption. It restores rhythm. Chosen one. Breathe this truth. You have been reinstated. You are no longer merely surviving divine tests. You are embodying divine trust. Your waiting became worship. Your endurance became evidence. Your silence became sacred preparation. The appointment of the redeemed is heaven's affirmation that your name still stands, your purpose still burns, and your path is now clear. Every moment that once felt wasted has been rewritten into wisdom. You are not going back, you are going beyond. It began with silence, but it ends with fire. Not the fire that destroys, but the fire that crowns. Heaven has completed its work in you. Chosen one. Every test, every delay, every unveiling has led to this final seal of glory. This is not a reward for endurance alone, it is the fulfillment of identity. You are stepping into the fullness of who you were always meant to be. The silence refined you, the fire now defines you. Glory is not applause. It is not the glitter of attention or the weight of human recognition. Glory is heaven's fingerprint upon the soul. It's the proof that transformation has occurred. You carry it not on your clothes or in your voice, but in your spirit's frequency. Everywhere you go, the unseen recognizes you. Angels mark your steps, darkness retreats before you. The seal of glory is invisible to the eyes of men, but undeniable to the realms of spirit. In this sealing anon, you are both crowned and commissioned. A crown is not a decoration, it is a declaration. It says, "This one has overcome. You have survived storms meant to scatter you, endured silences meant to silence you, and stood firm in truth when lies surrounded you. Every battle carved your authority. Every tear became a gemstone set into your spiritual diadem. What once weighed you down now rests upon you as glory. Glory has weight, it changes posture. You cannot walk the same way under it. You stand taller, speak softer, and move slower. You begin to sense eternity pressing gently against your timeline, reminding you that your steps are not random, they are recorded. You are living proof that divine timing is not delay, but design. Heaven has witnessed your transformation. The same angels who once guarded you through the 2-hour silence now surround you in celebration. They do not cheer as men do. They radiate acknowledgement, a silent thunder of approval. The corridors of heaven recognize your name not because of fame, but because of faith. You have been sealed, not as a servant only, but as a son, a daughter of light, as was spoken in the sacred texts of old. Revelation, chapter 3, verse 12. The one who is victorious I will make a pillar in the temple of my God. Never again will they leave it. I will write on them the name of my God and the name of the city of my God. That inscription is written across your spirit now. You are no longer wandering, you are anchored. No more searching for belonging. Heaven has claimed you as its own. The name of God upon you is not ink, it is essence. It means that wherever you go, His nature goes with you, peace that surpasses, love that restores, truth that cannot be silenced. You are the walking reflection of divine faithfulness. The seal of glory also brings responsibility. You are not crowned for comfort, but for continuation. The work of light must expand through you. Your life becomes an altar others can approach for warmth. The way you forgive, the way you endure, the way you choose peace when conflict tempts, these are sermons without words. Glory must be stewarded, not shown off. And yet, in this sacred weight, joy blooms quietly. There is a peace that follows you now, an awareness that the battles did not break you, they birthed you. You no longer wake up anxious about timing or fearful of tomorrow. The same God who waited 2 hours to deliver warning now walks every second beside you. You understand his silence and his speech. You've learned his rhythm. That understanding is your greatest treasure. You may look back on the long road, the watchers, the investigator, the exposure, the tests, and realize that every fragment had purpose. The story was never about survival alone. It was about revelation, God revealing himself through you. You were the canvas, and he the artist. The cracks of your journey allowed his light to shine through. That is the secret of glory. It leaks through the broken places. In this final season, you'll find that your perception shifts. You'll start to see heaven's fingerprints in everything, in laughter, in silence, in storms, in stillness. Nothing will look ordinary again, because glory redefines how you see. You will sense that everything is sacred, the small gestures, the quiet mornings, the moments others overlook. Glory turns life itself into worship. The seal is not something you earn, it's something you become. It's not given to the loudest or the proudest, but to those who keep walking when no one is watching. You are one of those. Heaven calls you trustworthy. The crown upon your spirit is made not of gold, but of grace. As you carry this light, understand this truth: the seal of glory is not an ending, it is a beginning. From this point forward, everything you do flows from overflow. Your presence becomes a prayer. Your silence becomes intercession. You are not trying to prove anything anymore. You are simply being what heaven has made you to be. And though the world may not fully understand, creation itself recognizes you. Even nature seems to respond differently when a redeemed soul walks in alignment. The wind greets, the earth steadies, the air hums with acknowledgement. The seal of glory harmonizes you with the Creator's original design. Chosen one. This is your inheritance, to live as proof that silence can birth revelation, that delay can produce destiny, and that those who wait faithfully will be crowned with fire. The 2-hour pause that once felt unbearable now shines as the doorway to eternal purpose. You are not waiting anymore. You are walking in fulfillment. You are not being watched, you are being written into heaven's story. The seal of glory rests upon you now, steady, radiant, irreversible. The silence is over. The crown remains. And now, the story closes where it began, with you. Heaven waited, and you listened. Every pause, every word, every whisper led you here, to awareness, to restoration, to purpose. You've walked through the silence and come out shining. That means your journey is not ending, it's unfolding. If these words have stirred something within you, let your response be gratitude in action. Like this message, not as habit, but as acknowledgement that it reached the right heart at the right time. Share it, not for attention, but for alignment, because someone somewhere is still standing in the 2-hour silence, waiting for confirmation that heaven remembers them too. Let your sharing be the spark that ignites another awakening. When you subscribe, think of it as staying under an open window, keeping yourself near where the wind of revelation passes through. And as you linger here, don't scroll away silently. Write your reflection below. One comment, one sentence can carry more healing than you know. Your words may become the whisper that saves another chosen one's night. You've been part of something sacred, heaven speaking through the stillness. Carry that awareness forward, wherever you go. Let your life be the continuation of this message, light spreading, truth breathing, peace multiplying. Until the next divine moment, remain steady, radiant, and aware you are God's chosen one, crowned through silence and called to shine.